on here today. I'm going through a whole debacle with Otter. They charged my account $16,000 because every time you guys read the notes from Otter, it was automatically putting you into the system as one of like a team member. And then when that trial expires, they were charging my account for every single person that ever read or viewed an Otter. So I'm working through that, but I'll figure that all out. But you guys, it's a beautiful morning. I'm excited. I'm full of passion. And as always, I am full of gratitude on this amazing, amazing morning. So we're going to go full tilt today. I actually see Johnny Tran. Johnny Tran, do you have your audio up? Can you hear me? I see you're struggling with a couple things. Can you hear me, Johnny Tran? All right, Johnny Tran, I'm going to actually turn the mic over to you. I'm going to have you bring us out on the field on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday morning. And another quick reminder, you guys, if you have the ability to do so, listen, there's tons of you that are here. I appreciate you being here, but let's get our cameras on. Let's be present. Let's show out for everybody. And woo, Carmen's got some purple hair and a little haircut.
I knew you were going to say that.
Well, how can I see it if you don't have your cameras on? So I'm going to start calling some people. Omar, Amy, Otis, Johnny, Norma, Kevin, Sophia, Denitza. Let's get our cameras on. But Carmen, it looks really, really good. I like it. So Johnny Tran, I'm going to have you bring us out on the field on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday morning. So Johnny, do your thing. Bring the troops out onto the field for battle today.
Sure. Good morning, everybody. I'm here at the FAST headquarters. This is Tommy. I guess he also works for Kenny. So I ran to him here this morning as well. But yeah, I just want to say I hope everybody woke up today, you know, full of purpose, full of gratitude. I wish I am. Just remember that when you woke up this morning, you know, someone else didn't. So I hope everybody has a productive day. I hope you all woke up with gratitude and a sense of direction. And yeah, I'm glad to be here. So I feel really motivated today. I don't get to go in the office that often. So I work a full-time job, but I made it a point to try to be more present. So I'm going to be taking periodic days off of my job so I can be here in person more often. So
beautiful.
Yeah, looking forward to meeting everybody in person as well.
I love it. I love it. Well, good to see you, brother. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you being here. Full of gratitude as well this morning. Rahil, tell whoever that sexy beast was that just walked by that we all said hello. He's been in the gym as much as Jeff has been on. She's like, oh my God.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh my gosh, that was my brother. Oh.
He's trying to be motivation for the ladies because now everyone's got their cameras on. So, all right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. Got a lot of stuff on the plate today. And what I've realized is that there's tons of things that we need to make sure that we're tightening up. There's things that you guys are doing at a very high level that maybe other people can learn from. So today, full stream of consciousness. I want us to really dive into the collective. We're going to talk about a few things today that will help you guys improve the flow when you're dealing with consumers. So before we get started, I saw something yesterday that really stood out to me, and it was very simple. Own your shit. Coach Pipe said this yesterday, he made a video about it, and it really resonated with me. So whatever you're doing, whatever you are facing, whatever things that you are not showing up for, own your shit. If your business is not where it is, own that. So I want the message for today is to simply be own your shit. No excuses, no pointing fingers, no, oh my God, I'm not where I am or not where I need to be because I don't understand technology. Whatever you're going through right now, own your shit. Don't give excuses. Embrace that and say, you know what, it's on me, it's on my shoulder. So own your shit. So let's do this, you guys, really quick. The other day we had a challenge, not more of a challenge, it's more of a homework. So the other day, Maria started a thread here in Slack. And if you're not on Slack, don't worry about this, you guys. But when I look at how many people replied to this, we had over 65 people on group coaching on Monday, but only 13 replies. So here's what I want you guys to do is today, I want you to go in. This is pinned to the channel. I'll pin it right now. I want you guys to go in and I want you to put your Q2 goals in there. That way each of us can support one another, and that way you can help your brothers and sisters be better in Q2. So if you have not done that, please take the time to do so. And I want to make sure that we can see everybody's goals and fully support everyone. But let's go right in, you guys. So today, what I want to talk about is I want to talk about your flow. And what I mean by the flow is that if you guys get a lead, and say that Nias gets a lead, say Johnny gets a lead, say Maria gets a lead, and they say, you know what, we want to go and see a couple of homes this weekend. Haven't really met them, had a quick conversation on the phone with them. I haven't even done my buyer's consultation, so we'll get to that. Now, they say we want to go out and see homes on Saturday or Sunday. They say, okay, cool. What does that flow look like? We all have different things that we're doing, whether we're printing on the MLS, we're going into Cloud CMA, we're booking it through showing time. There's an array of different ways to do this. But what I'd like to hear is I'd like to hear from 5 volunteers today, how you guys are actually setting up your entire flow. Then once you set up the flow, what is the communication to the consumer? What do you bring when you actually go on your tours? What are you actually saying to the consumers to build rapport? Because what you're trying to find is when you're building rapport, when you're talking to these consumers, they're already in what I call the reptilian brain, like, okay, cool, this is just another salesperson. Through our communication, through our line of questioning, we're going to get these people to be on our side, and I call that the turn. The turn is when you're finally in rapport. It might take 1 home, might take 3 or 5 homes before you're finally connected with both of them. I've seen it, I've experienced it myself, and I'm always able to identify, like, all right, what house was it? Yeah, it was house 2. I finally got them to turn, meaning that I was finally in rapport. So the cadence for this conversation today is, how are you setting up the tour initially? What's that first communication? Is that via email? Is that a text message? Or is it a combination of the two? Now, once you have your appointment set up, what are you sending the consumers? Are they getting the MLS printouts? Are they getting the Cloud CMA? Are they on showing time? Do they have anything digitally before you even meet them? Then when you actually get to the property, what are you showing them? How are you building rapport? What questions are you asking? And then how are you setting up your buyer's consultation? We'll leave it at that. Now, after that, I'm going to give you guys a template of how to really talk about the market at the highest level. Now, you're going to have to source some different things. You're going to have to go to different places to find this information. However, I'm going to give you a template. That way, when I ask you the question, yo, Cortez, tell me a little bit about the market, you have a sequence, you have a cadence, and you have literally a plug and play to help you fill in this information. Does that make sense, everybody? Cool. Awesome. I need 3 to 5 people to volunteer right now to kick this thing off on this beautiful Wednesday morning. If you're at the gym, if you're driving, you can maybe hop in when you guys are done. But who wants to take me through their flow? The first part of it is preparation from the home tour. What tools are you using to organize your flow? Let's start there, and then we'll go through the layers. All right, so Vanessa, she's parked. And so let's hear from Vanessa. You guys, you might want to take some notes on this, because some people may be doing things that you're like, oh shit, I didn't even know that was a tool that I could use. So this is applicable to every single market. I don't care if you're in one of our clients out in New Mexico, if you're in Florida, if you're right here in the East Bay, this applies to everyone, because everyone has tools to heighten the consumer experience from the go. So Vanessa Vo, let's hear from you. Kick this thing off. And I'm going to call on a couple people that have never been called on in group coaching before. So be on the lookout. I'm just going to call on you. If you cannot talk for whatever reason, just be like, I got to pass. Vanessa Vo, let's go.
Good morning, guys. So for me, the cadence pretty much goes, I meet a client, they tell me they're interested. At that initial meeting or phone call, I would have gotten enough information to set them up on Real Scout. So how I pretty much reach out is activities based on Real Scout, right? I tell them, you thumbs up it. And even if they don't thumbs up it, you can see that they've looked at it multiple times. So then I put it in a list, and I said, okay, hey, when's the next day you can pour? Based on, your activities, I see that you were interested in, 3 or 4. So they tell me a date, right? So then I would plug those addresses into Google Maps. That way I can properly map out my tour, because I've been on a madness tour where I didn't set it, but at the end of the day, it's just better to visually see where you're going to be, because you can be in Sacramento and Sacramento would be, 30 minutes apart if you're on one end trying to go to the other. So I plug it in, and then I put those addresses now in a list, an Excel sheet. So with that, now I know which one we're going to go to first, and then, which one we'll end up at.
So let me pause you for a second. So you have your list, you put in an Excel spreadsheet. Does the client get that? And what does the client get before they meet you prior to the tour?
That Excel sheet. So that way they can understand, what our day's going to be looking like, timed out. Pretty much I do give us a lunch break if it is more than 4, just a small window for a bathroom break. But yes, the client does get that Excel sheet. Within that Excel sheet, it'll have information, days on market, the pricing, HOA, if, any special notes. That way, sometimes when we're out on the field, we have a whole bunch of papers. Shoot, they drop one, I get, mixed up. It's hot mess, right? But with that Google Excel sheet, we both pull out our phones. I, help them. So as we go along, they have it at the tip of their hands. But when I do meet them, I do give them a notebook if it's our, initial meeting, because there's some people that just need, it's better with a pen and paper.
I think Cynthia does this too. She brings a pen and the printouts and gives that to them, or maybe it's Cynthia or somebody else. Okay, so Vanessa, what is a tool that you use, an on-the-go app maybe that you can use for quick reference that shows you confidential remarks? What do you use when you're live with the consumer if you need to access MLS information on the go?
HomeSnap is my best friend. I do have RPR on hand too, in case I just need to know a little bit more information. Very rare though, but HomeSnap is my go-to. All confidential remarks, instructions on, how to open and show to is all on there. I literally have it all selected. That way, as I'm driving, it's just auto-populated and I'm not trying to type it in and be lost.
Okay, perfect. So let's pause for a quick second, you guys. I want you to put down in the chat below what you use for MLS on the go. I personally am a huge believer in HomeSnap. If you don't have HomeSnap, I believe that you guys should have that on your phone. RPR is a great way. It's also a great way to run really quick comps while you're on the go. So, all right, so plug that down below. That way you guys can see everyone what they're using. HomeSnap. I think that this is one of the best programs out there. Real Scout. Okay, cool. Good. So Vanessa, you've set up the tour, you've got it organized. They have the printout. You're welcoming them in. You're doing your thing. What happens in the home? Are you the person that lets them go and see the house, or are you showing them each room? And what are some key questions that you're asking while you're on tour with your consumers?
So what I found out, and it's been working for me, is just listen, let them lead, because, well, there's some people that need guidance. It kind of what the vibes is, right? If your client is literally unaware, unknowledgeable, they kind of need your lead, right? But for the most part, I let them lead. Even if they don't talk much, they eventually fill the silence, right, with whatever they're thinking. So I let them, I open the door, let them walk. Hey, go ahead, check it out. Let me know if you have any questions. And then I start, as we walk throughout the house together, I don't let them just go off on their own, because I need to know what they're looking at, know what they're feeling, whatever reaction, because I need to be there to address it in the moment, and not just let them go throughout and feel whatever they feel and then not know what's going on.
Okay, I love this. And so let's go through a quick scenario here. We've done this on buyer's consultations, you guys. So I'm your consumer. We've walked this house. I don't like it. It's not for me. Don't like the kitchen. Don't like the backyard. Don't like this neighborhood. I don't like the smell. Smells like dog piss, whatever it is, right? All the different reasons. So now we're standing in the driveway or the living room or the kitchen. We've never done a buyer's consultation. This is our first initial meeting, which was at the property. You've done tours with us. Now, how are you going to set me up for a buyer's consultation? Yeah, Vanessa, this isn't us. We didn't like this house. Didn't like the last one. So I guess we keep looking.
Okay, that's no problem, Elias. I'm sorry this didn't work out for you. How about this? Let's hop on a quick Zoom call because I'd like to just get a little bit more understanding as to what you are exactly looking for, and that way we're not wasting each other's time.
Cool. How do we do that? Do we do it
So
in person?
yeah, we can do it in person or on Zoom, whichever is most convenient for you. We'll just get on. It's about 15 to 30 minutes. That way I can understand a little bit more and then come up with a strategy. And that way, set you up on the system I have. It's Real Scout. And then from there, it'll be able to send you some more homes within your criteria.
All right, cool. So we'll pause there. So it's super, super important that we're always setting this next stage of the presentation, right? Whether it is, let's review comps, let's review disclosures, let's meet up for our buyer's consultation. There's always an appointment that needs to be set after every single interaction. So you're future casting them and you're always moving them further and further down the road. So let's pause for a quick second. First off, Vanessa, really, really great stuff. Vanessa's absolutely going to crush it this year. She's on pace to do 4, 8, 12, 6. I believe this year she'll do 24 deals. She's already surpassed her entire year of production last year, and we're in the first or second quarter of the year. So great stuff. You guys, I want to turn the mic over to you. What were some things that you heard, whether it was tools, setup, prior interaction that you guys heard that stood out for you? Or do you have any questions for Vanessa before we go on to the next person? Anybody, feel free to chime in on this, you guys. This is going to be a good conversation. Anybody?
Sorry, one last thing. Just that whole point you were saying, Elias, is always know what's next. So for me, it's very important. And I think that's what kind of clicked for me and what's working is always know what's next for your client, right? So whether it's they're going to go on a drip system, whether we're going to meet again, whether we're going to chat again, just always set that expectation and set up it as a task in your follow-up, boss, because I've gotten so busy, but this is literally how I've been able to keep up.
Okay, so tell us about that. So instantly when you're done, you set that task in your follow-up, boss, and then you're booking the appointment right there with them.
Yes. It's like, well, hey, I'm going to call you in 2 weeks at this time, set it up and follow up, boss. And then I do add it as a reminder. So if you don't add it as a reminder, it'll just exist, but it won't remind you.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, guys, let's get some hands up. 3 to 5 questions or dialogue or insights or questions that you might have for Vanessa. So let's go ahead and full stream of consciousness. Cynthia, start us off. But once again, you guys, usual suspects. I want to make sure that everyone is getting involved in this conversation, because if you can heighten your consumer experience from the very first time you meet them, you'll have a higher propensity for them to look at you as your realtor and develop a client for life. And that is the goal. So Cynthia Peterson, let's hear from you.
So I'm partnering with Vanessa right now on a client that's looking in Stockton and Sacramento, and being able to see her notes, Vanessa's notes in Follow Up Boss, and being able to see that she set up a next step meeting is huge. I mean, it is everything when we're partnering. So please make sure that if you are going to be partnering with people, that you're taking the same, even more care, because it's huge. So please be using Follow Up Boss.
Beautiful. And Cynthia, based on what Vanessa said, other than Follow Up Boss, was there anything else that stood out for you?
Yeah, the way she does her Excel sheets is something that I'm going to take into account and start creating for my clients, because I could tell that Tony, our client that we're working with, she felt comfortable with Vanessa right off the first meeting. And it's because Vanessa had a structure. It wasn't fly by the seat of her pants. She had her shit together.
Yeah, I love this. I love this. What I would do, you guys, before every single tour that you guys have, anticipate questions that the consumer's probably going to have. You obviously know the normal ones, the schools, the restaurants. They're probably going to ask about crime if it's in more of a gritty area. These are questions that are going to come up. So I want you to be prepared for the questions that are going to be asked. So let's go to 3 more people. Dialogue, thoughts, insight, questions for Vanessa, or takeaways from anything she said. Romel, let's hear from you, big dog.
I just had a question about sequence. So once you're when you set up tours, that's after they're pre-approved? or you're doing that before they've got their funding in place?
That's a really, really good question. Here's my advice to everybody, whether or not you agree to it or not. I would do one set of showings for free. I would go out there, meet the consumer, talk to them, help them through that journey, be the great emancipator of the entire process, and don't be the person that says, I'm not going to tour with you until you're pre-approved. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. Any thoughts on that, you guys? And good, bad, or indifferent?
No, I like that. I mean, I've heard different things from agents, like I'm not going to waste my time if they're not ready to buy. But to me, it's almost, that's a great way to build rapport and kind of get them to like you, number one, and say, you know what, I want to work with them. Let me go through the next step. So it's almost, even when I did architecture, it's like your first consult is free. I can tell you about what I think about your house. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but just so
Right.
you know that I have some knowledge and I'm willing to work with you.
Ramel, and tons of people just raise their hand on this. I believe that even if it's not them, and we've seen it time and time again, people have gotten into contract from a referral from a client that they have not gotten into contract. Happens all the time. An auntie, a brother, a friend, they're still in the process of getting pre-approved, but they introduce you to a family member that is ready to buy. I've seen it happen time and time again. And guess what? You are that person that helps them get pre-approved. You set them up with Catalina. You set them up with the DREAM program. They're doing the hours that they need to do to complete that program. And now here you are from the very start, you will help them through the entire process. But now spending week in and week out, going out and out, no. That first initial weekend of showing homes, absolutely. Absolutely, go and build that relationship. Otis, you had your hand up and a couple other people had some thoughts on this. So feel free to raise your hand on an emoji. That way I know who you are.
I totally agree with you on that, Elias. That's one of my spills when I'm on. As soon as I get a lead off of Ojo Op City, I always tell them, I go, you know what, you're not pre-approved, but that's okay. What I do a little bit different than most realtors. I would definitely go out and make a day of it. If you like to go see more properties, that will make it, a day of it and make it worth it for both of us. And it will give me the chance to get to know you, to see if we're a good fit, to see what you expect from me, what I could expect from you, and kind of get that rapport. Because as we all know, about 85% of people are going to work with that agent that they first meet. So if you go out there and you can even play it down like, damn, Elias, I'm super busy, but you know what? I really liked you. I really had a good conversation. Then what are you doing today? Do you have time to go look at one today? What I'll do is I'll give you 1 day complimentary showings, however many you want to see. And I'm hoping that one of these houses we see, Elias, you're going to tell me, hey, Otis, I love this house. What's next? Like I told you on the phone when we met, the pre-approval is key. So, now that I took some time out of my day to show you how serious I am, can you show me how serious you are and start the pre-approval process?
Perfect. I love this because here's the thing, Ramel, Mr. Client, Otis, no matter if it's 6 months down the road or if it's a year down the road, I want to make sure that you know the value that I bring to the table. And who's to think that you would even call me if we've never met? You might not even like me. So let's just meet. I'll show you a couple homes, get to know a little bit more about you and your family and what your goals are. And let's just start there. Before you put friction up, just meet them, shake their hands, open the doors, but let them know that you also have boundaries. And the boundaries are you're going to help them through this process and you're not going to spend every single weekend showing a home. So Ramel, good question. Good insight, Otis. Vanessa, you had your hand up, and then feel free, anybody else that wants to chime in on this.
So about the showing without pre-approval, I show because what it is for me is being able to meet them in person. And then we'll talk when we meet, right? Because they can tell me they have a pre-approval all they want, and we don't meet. And so yes, I do show, and once we get there, right, let's say they don't have a pre-approval, they really love a house. And so now I'm here to bring a reality check, right? So you see how you love this house? Well, guess what? We're now working backwards. You are not pre-approved. We don't even know what your budget is. You're pretty much shopping without knowing a budget. You don't go to the mall without knowing how much money is in your pocket. So don't worry, that's okay. Yours will always be yours. So let's do this. And then, connect them with the lender. And yeah, so let's say they want to continue looking at houses, but now they don't want to get pre-approved. Well, no, we shouldn't do that. That's a waste of both of our time, because this time you didn't like something. Next time you love something, now we're going to miss the opportunity because you were not prepared.
Yeah, I love this. I love this. Great conversation, you guys. I'm going to share something with you, and then I'm actually going to call on, Nina Loffer. So be ready. And then I'm going to call on Carlos Sandoval. So be ready. Cameras on when I call on you. So I pulled this up a little bit earlier, and I don't know if you guys use this, but I believe that Cloud CMA is an amazing, amazing program. Now, each of us have different MLSs. I pulled this up from, you can pull this up from Bay East, and if you guys are in our market, just to give you a quick glimpse of how this looks, where it's at, it's really, really easy to navigate. So what you would do is you'd go into here, and let me close this out really quick. Can you guys see my screen? Just give me a thumbs up, somebody. Romel, I'm looking at your face. All right, cool. Just go to resources and go to Cloud CMA. Now what you're able to do is you're able to build a customized buyer tour by simply hitting this. And what you would do is you would do a buyer tour there. Now, obviously do a little bit of work, map it out to where you know that you're doing like a full circle and you're not going from one end to the next end, so on and so forth. So you make sure that there's a rhythm and there's a cadence. So what you do is you would list your MLS numbers here. And then what I've done is I've customized this report. I've reduced it down to literally schools, information about the home and local restaurants, and it looks something like this. So once I've entered in all of that information, now I have this beautiful, beautiful report that gets sent out to my consumer before I go. And I put Cynthia in here. There's my beautiful face, a little bit about me, Team Fast, and then the list of all the homes that we're going to go see. Here's all the confidential remarks. Here's the square footage. Here's the information about the houses. Here's the schools that are within driving distance to this property, where they're rated, so on and so forth, restaurants. All this information is sent to them prior, so they have it. I would also bring this as a printout so people can have this and see this and have something physical. Then what Cloud CMA does, which is actually pretty cool, and I pulled this up so you guys can see it, Cloud CMA creates the link for you. So you can send this via text message. You could send this in your calendar invite. And what they do is they list out all of the properties. What I would do is I would take all these properties, I would put it into the calendar invite, and I would say, this is where we're starting, this is second, this is third, and I would put that in the calendar invite. I would also include this link, so now they have a digital copy of it. They got in an email, they have it in their calendar invite, and you're also bringing this to them in hand. That way they can make notes on it. This is why Cloud CMA as well as Showing Time are really, really great products for you guys to use, because it enhances the consumer experience. As soon as they say, we want to go see these 5 houses, perfect. Let me put together the flow. I'm going to send you an email and a calendar invite. Also in the notes section, you will see the order in which the homes that we're going to go see. Looking forward to see you. And I confirm that with text message. That's the cadence every single time. So I want to call on 2 more people. I think I called on, who was it next? It was Nina Loffer. We're going to go through the same flow. But before we get there, Joellen, you had your hand up. Was that a new hand or an old hand?
I just want to say I do exactly what you do, Elias, and then I can take that information and populate into an Excel sheet. But tangible stuff that I give them, I have a folder together with a printout of the buyer tour. Depending on if there's 2 people, I have each a notepad in there, some pens, 2 waters, and a snack. And now they have a packet with them and they can take notes, they can do all that good stuff. So
Feels like a field trip. Feels like a field trip to me. I love this. I love it. Romel, you had your hand up, and then we're going to turn the mic over to Nina. What's up, Romel?
Just a quick technical question. So you show, it's cool to show the confidential remarks to the buyer?
No. So if we were to build this out, when Nina's talking, I'm going to prep some stuff on the back end. I'll show you how to build it out. It's actually not the confidential remarks. These are this is information about the property. Confidential remarks are not included on this Cloud CMA. Yeah, so those things, obviously, we would not want to give consumer to protect the privacy of the listing agent and obviously the confidential part of that. But I'll show you how to build it out. It's really, really simple. So Nina Loffer, I'm going to turn the mic over to you. Are you ready? Nina Loffer going once, Nina Loffer going twice. I think we're having some technical difficulties. I saw you on and then saw you off. Nina, let's try that one more time. Now let's just take yourself off of mute. I know this whole Zoom thing. Nina, you took yourself off of mute for a moment, but if we can't figure this out, let's keep trying. I'm going to actually turn it over to Carlos. So Carlos, same flow, my brother. you met us, and let's stop for a minute. Let's congratulate Carlos. He got into his first contract this last week. So let's congratulate him. He worked with Vanessa on this, and so super, super proud of you both. Way to partner up on this. So Carlos, let's go to you. Preparation for home tour. What tools are you using to organize your tour flow, showing time, Cloud CMA? What are you doing? Let's start there.
So yeah, I've used Showtime before to just set the appointments. And then also kind of on what Otis was talking about, like when people, even though they're not pre-approved, I'll definitely go out and show them some houses, just try to talk to them, right? Just, do that face-to-face, because I really feel like that's important. You have to see them face-to-face and get to talk to them, build a little rapport there.
For sure.
And I really like to do is I send them the high note presentation.
Okay, so let's back up for a second. So I'm your consumer. I want to go see 5 houses in the city of Tracy on Saturday. Are you sending all 5 homes in a high note, or is the high note presentation about you and about the buying process?
It's about me and the buying process.
Okay, can you do me a favor? I don't know if you can grab that. Can you put that in the chat? That way we can share with everybody what actually that looks like. So Carlos, while you're finding that, walk us through that high note presentation. What's in it?
So it's actually, I got this from Jeff Phillips. He shared it with a bunch of us, and I kind of modified it a little bit, kind of made it my own, but it's kind of similar to what he shared with us. Let me see.
And once you drop it in the chat, then we'll go through it together as a group, because I want you guys to take notes on these things. All right, but let's keep flowing while we're talking. So you send them the high note presentation. It's a little bit about you, the buying process, the flow. Now you have 5 homes that you're going to go tour in Tracy on Saturday. How are you setting that up, and how are you organizing that for your consumer?
So basically, kind of similar to Vanessa, right? I'll just write it down, but usually I'll print something out, just with
when you say something, what is the something?
Just like something off the, like the MLS, so I was printing out the one with the confidential remarks, but now I know not to do that.
All right, so you're printing out MLS sheets.
Yeah, I'll print out the MLS sheets.
Beautiful.
And then,
Okay, cool.
And then just set it up, kind of set up, okay, we'll see this one at this time, just go down the line.
Okay, cool. Now you're at the property, you're touring the property. What do you believe are the good, better, and best questions to ask? What I mean is that good is like, it's okay. That's like surface level, better, obviously. But the best questions to ask to get the most information from your consumer, what are some of the best questions that you're asking on your tour?
Well, it just depends. A lot of the time, sometimes like they'll give me feedback, right? They give you feedback like right when you walk out. So I like to let them kind of tell me what they thought about it first, because I don't want to talk. I want to hear what they felt about the property first before I tell them anything, right? And I never want to put a property down, but I do just kind of give them my opinion on what I thought about it.
Beautiful. And are you sharing square footage? Are you sharing neighborhood information? Like, what are some things, if you could just think back to this particular client that you got in a contract, what did you believe were some really good questions that you asked to get them really super engaged with you?
Just ask them what he wanted, right? What was he looking for? He wanted something newer. He wanted something he didn't have to worry about maintenance wise for a while. So that's why we ended up going to Lathrop, trying to find that newer construction, right? So I always ask them, hey, like, what's the most important to you? Like, I have another client right now that all they really care about is school district. That's like the main thing for them. So they're not area specific. It's more of like, we've been looking in Fremont, and now they're looking in Livermore. They're more of a what they care about is the school district. So definitely like the school district size, minimum bedroom count's also a big one, right?
I love this. You guys, let's give Carlos a round of applause. This is the first time he's ever spoke this long on group coaching. And he just got into contract, and this stuff is fresh. Here's what I want you guys to focus on when you're on tour. Obviously, we know information about the property. We should know the square footage, know a little bit about the neighborhood, where the closest schools are, a little bit about the area, what's it going to be like lifestyle-wise. But what I want you guys to focus on, and this is super important, is I want you guys to look for nonverbal cues. What I mean by that is that when they're walking through the living room and the wife holds the husband's hand and like looks up at him and then you see them like or they have like a weird look on their face. Like, be able to like notice those things and be able to talk to them about it. Be like, hey, Chrissy, I just saw that look. You guys tell me a little bit about that. What's going on? I want to know, right? Because now they're going to be able to say, oh, well, it just reminded us of this, or we love this neighborhood, or it's so perfect. Like, or, all right, I saw that look on your face, Carlos. What's that look? Look for nonverbal cues. And I promise you, if you become masterful at identifying body language and patterns and how people are holding their hands or what they're doing or how they look at each other, I promise you, you'll get further with them, because then you'll probably get to some honesty. You'll probably get to some honesty. And all right, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, on a scale from 1 to 7, where would you rank this house? It's a 6. Why so high? It has this, it has this, it has this. Why so low? It didn't have this, it didn't have this. Whatever answer they give you, it's a positive answer, because it'll tell you exactly what they want or what they do not want in the home. So I love this, Carlos. Did you have your high note ready for us to view?
Yeah, I put it in the chat.
All right, cool. So let's do this. I'm going to pull this up really quick, you guys. That way you can see this, and I'm going to accept this, and I'm going to share this with you guys. That way you can see. You guys, obviously, if you don't have your high note presentation, make sure to have this on point. But let's go through this. So Carlos, can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So a little bit of information about you. I love this. Getting comfortable with the residential purchase agreement. What is this portion of it?
It's just a copy of the residential purchase agreement.
Cool. Pre-approval checklist.
They could look over it before, get comfortable with it before we actually have to make an offer.
Awesome. Making an offer and pre-approval checklist. Tell us about these two.
Just the process of what we're gonna do, right? The pre-approval checklist, what you're gonna need, making an offer, kind of just what we're gonna have to make sure we have in place before we can make that offer.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. And then let's continue cruising on. Life of an escrow. And I feel that you probably took this right out of the buyer's consultation.
Yes, I did.
Cool. What I would probably put in here, bro, if it's not in here, customary practices. Let me just see. Learn about taxes, tax year. Oh, the buyer's consultation is in here. And
Yeah,
here,
I put it all the way up. The whole
he has
thing.
a way for people to fill out their information and to receive this as a lead if maybe they sent it to somebody else. So this is really, really good, you guys. This is high level. And mind you, you can do your buyer's consultation, or excuse me, your high note any way that you want. Maybe there's a video in there that says, what's up, you guys? Hey, I'm really looking forward to meeting you this week. Just want to tell you, obviously, I'm excited. Here's my flow. Here's the things that we're going to cover over the next couple of weeks working together, whatever that sounds like, and have a really cool video that's embedded in here. But Carlos, really, really good stuff. Great performance. And when I mean performance, it's like how you put all this together and being able to take your client all the way to the finish line. And now you're in escrow. So congratulations. Great job. Let's go. Anything that you guys saw that Carlos did, key takeaways, dialogue, insight, questions of something you saw that says, you know, that would probably work for me. Anybody want to chime in on this? Going once, going twice, please raise your hand or put an emoji up. All right, cool. We're going to move on. Nina Loffer, let's try one more time. You there? Nina?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it sounds like you're a little bit of a tunnel, but we'll work it out. Can you throw your camera on?
I put it on, but I'm having technical difficulties.
All right, it's all right. We'll let you pass on that. We have a lock screen on it for you. So Nina, tell us preparation for the home tour. I want to go see 5 homes in Walnut Creek this Saturday. We have not met. Oh, hold on. Before we get to this, Carlos, I wanted to ask you this question. We're in the living room. We don't like this house. You have never done a buyer's consultation with me. How are you setting me up for a buyer's consultation?
So I just tell them, hey, like we can get on a Zoom call later. So we kind of walk through the whole process of what to expect. Okay,
perfect. And how do we, so we do that on Zoom?
Yeah, the Zoom or I've been doing Zoom early.
Okay, awesome. Here's what I love to say, you guys, every single thing. You don't like it, the house is not great for you, closet. Okay, here's what we do next. I want that to be a part of your flow every single time you talk to a consumer, whether you're on a listing appointment, whether you're on a buyer's consultation, or whether they are ready to write an offer. here's what we do next. I take all of my consumers through a home buyer's consultation. That way I can explain to you what happens from start to finish throughout the buying process. I'm also going to explain to you what my strategy is and how I get offers accepted in this competitive environment. It typically takes about 30 to 45 minutes. We do that via Zoom. Do you want to do that tonight or do you want to do that tomorrow? I literally would look at my phone and wait for them to say tonight or tomorrow, and I would book that that presentation right there. That's the flow every single time if you want to book buyer consultations. Nina Lawford, let's go one more time for you. Preparation for the home tour. I want to see 5 homes in Walnut Creek this Saturday. Talk me through your process, your flow.
Well, this would be only my, I guess, first time ever doing this. Obviously, I wouldn't be telling my client that. Fake it till you make it, right? I don't know. I mean, I guess it's kind of like reading the room for me. Like I want to see how they are, how they're feeling, and then if they want to do a tour, then I would.
So let's back up really quick.
Yes.
Like let's go before the feeling, right? So
Sure.
I've already communicated with you. I'm a friend of a friend that said, hey, I would love to go see some homes. Wonderful. You had a quick conversation with me. I want to go see these 5 homes that are in Walnut Creek on Saturday. What do you do? What is the next communication with that consumer? What are you going to do?
I say, let's do it. When would you like to start? In
Saturday.
the day?
No,
Yeah.
Saturday at noon.
At noon. Okay. Great. Where would you like to meet up? Maybe we would grab a coffee ahead of time and then do a tour like that.
All right, so let's presume that I've already said where I want to go. You have the addresses of where I want to see the homes in Walnut Creek. What I want to do is I just want to get out and see these homes. How are you going to set up this buyer flow for us? How are you going to communicate? What are you going to do next, knowing that I want to see these 5 homes in Walnut Creek? And if you, and cool, like you're figuring stuff out, you're brand new, so this is part of the process. So let's just run with it.
I think what I would do, what comes naturally to me is I would say, hey, why don't we meet here first at, grab a coffee, and then we meet in person to, connect before the home tours. And then, that way I'm kind of like breaking the ice with them, meeting them in person, maybe giving them some information. They can see me in person. And then kind of go from there. But I'd have them follow me in their own car to these different spots, and then we would go from there. That's what feels natural to me right now.
Perfect. So then how would you I want you to articulate the communication part of it, right? They said they want to go see 5 homes. You've done a little bit of research. You've set up the tours from 12 to 3 o'clock. What are you going to send me as a consumer so I know exactly what we are going to do on Saturday? What's that communication like? This piece of it is super, super important.
Oh man. I don't really know, to be quite honest. I mean, I guess I would have information on each of the homes. First off, I would have a printout from HomeSnap on each of the homes. Maybe have some comps with me as well on the neighborhood or what sold in that area. But yeah, and some business cards, stuff like that. But yeah,
so like having a rhythm and having a cadence, right? Like I just showed you guys, whether you're using RPR, whether you're doing the printouts from the MLS, whatever that looks like. I personally think Cloud CMA is one of the better tools, but that's my personal opinion. Now, whatever you use, you guys use. But what I want it to be is wonderful, awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you on Saturday. Here's what I'm doing in the meantime, Nina. I'm going to send you some information about the homes that we're going to see. I'll go ahead and set up all those tours. I'm also going to send you a calendar invite. And in the notes section, that's going to have the order in which of all the homes in which we're going to see on Saturday. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm looking forward to seeing you and the family on Saturday. And I'm also going to send that to them in an email with that link of all the homes that we're going to go see on Saturday. So there's no questions. There's no like, oh my God, what are we doing? Everything is defined. So they say, wow, this person is super, super thorough. Then when you see them, you have your printouts, you have all the stuff, you're walking through, you're meeting them, you're building rapport, but every single flow, every single tour needs to have a cadence every single time. And that way, when they book for next Saturday, same cadence, same rhythm. and they know that, wow, Jeff is super, super on it. He is super organized every single time. Because if you can display a level of organization from the moment you meet them, what is it going to be like being in escrow with this person? What's this person going to do for me once I finally get an offer accepted? I know that it's going to be organized. So Nina, really good stuff. So Nina, let me ask you, if you're touring with me, what are some questions that you're probably going to ask to build the most amount of rapport?
Well, I would definitely want to get to know you a little bit. I would see what you've mentioned in conversation to maybe get to know, you know, some interests that you're into, or the places obviously that you're going to be home touring, and maybe little things that I could pick up just on the little bit that I know of you to kind of add into the mix and build some sort of like foundation and working relationship.
Love it, love it. Nina, out of all the communities that you could have lived in the East Bay, why did you choose Walnut Creek?
I think it's safe here.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Oh.
I'm just you don't have to answer that. But if you ask that question in that way, you're going to
Sure.
get a lot of information. So out of all the cities, so what did you think about the house on a scale from 1 to 7? Where would you rank it? I would rank it a 5. Why so high? Tell me a little bit more. And out of all the cities that you could have lived in, why did you choose Walnut Creek? Right. And like they'll tell you the
Right.
schools, proximity, rating of the school, all the things that are the makeup of that beautiful city. So, Nina, really good job. Now, before we move on, and I'm going to get to Ilona in a second. So, Nina, we don't like this house. We didn't like it at all. What do we do next?
Oh man, well, I would just start asking them, well, what do you like? Where, okay, but they still want to be in the area is what you're saying? But
So yeah, Nina, so the point is book me for the buyer's consultation. So we don't like this. Yeah, it's not for us. Book me for the buyer's consult.
okay, well, you know what? I would like to understand a little bit more about what you like, what you dislike, you know, get more into detail about what you're really looking for. So
Okay.
maybe what we can do is this, when it's convenient to you, we can either meet again in person or through Zoom and really dive a little bit deeper into the homes that you're really what you're looking for.
All right. So here's 2 words I want you to eliminate from what you just said. Maybe and convenient. Right.
Okay.
So here's what we do next, Nina. I take all of my buyers through a home buyer's consultation so you guys can understand what happens from start to finish throughout the buying process. I'm also going to share with you my strategy and how we'll get your offer accepted in this competitive environment. Typically takes 30 to 45 minutes. We do that via Zoom. Do you guys want to do that tonight or do you want to do that tomorrow?
Then look at the phone.
Same thing every single time. It's not, would you like to, if it's convenient, maybe, possibly, if. No, it's a part of the flow. It's a part of the process. Because in my mind, it is in their best interest to understand this market at the highest level, right, Mr. Consumer? Wonderful. And understand exactly what's going to take place throughout the largest transaction of your family's life, right? Wonderful. That's why we do a buyer's consultation. All roads lead to that. So here's what we do next. Put that part of your flow, and then that will give you like a segue into the buyer's consultation, segue into reviewing comps, segue into reviewing disclosures. That will be your segue phrase as you continue to work with consumers. Here's what we do next. Here's what we do next. And you guys, if you're around me enough, you'll hear me say this to you guys. Here's what we do next. Good stuff, Nina. I appreciate you diving in on this conversation. Ilona, you've had your hand up for a moment. Let's go to you.
I just wanted to share that I use MapQuest. Like I've shown 10 homes once to someone, and I didn't prep the right way, and I just use MapQuest, the old school, and I put all the addresses in, and it'll give you the most efficient route between homes, and I send them a screenshot of the MapQuest map and the ones that we're going to order by order, so that we're not driving back and forth through Oakland like crazy.
I love this because I remember the days of peds and you weren't able to schedule at a certain time. So literally you were at the mercy of what was available. I don't know about you guys, please raise your hand if you drove to all ends of the Bay Area because there was no times available and you were peed here. So you literally had to run. So I like that, Ilona, get it all scheduled, get it all organized. Romel, I just remembered in Fast Class, there is, and this is for everybody, in Fast Class, there's a video on how to set up a Cloud CMA buyer tour. What I want everyone to do, if they do not have a flow already, reference that video. Cynthia put that video in last year. I think I recorded it, last year. It's in there. Go and check that video out. It is an amazing, amazing video. Yeah, peds in the trunk, those things were an absolute joke. So before we close out the session, I'm gonna share something with you. Let me go here. I'm gonna share this with you guys because it is time that we go back into this. Oftentimes you hear me say this over and over and over. Let me share my screen. How's the market? This is the question that you guys are going to get asked the most. So what I've done is I'm going to have Judith put this in the chat below. And this is a way for you to really start filling this in as a worksheet when you're dealing with consumers, because I want your message to market and articulation of what's actually happening in the market to be spot on. Now, this applies to all consumers in all markets. So during buyer presentation or during your initial discovery conversation, meet them where they are. I'm curious, what have you heard is occurring in our local real estate market today? What type of market are we in? I was wondering, where did you get that information, right? Educate and inform them and share data. Let me take a moment to share with you the reality, what is actually happening in the Bay Area or whatever market that you're in today. We've seen home sales drop or raise by X amount year over year. Due to lack of inventory, buyers are paying historically higher or lower prices throughout X city. The average days on the market in city is X amount. Compared to last year, X days. Now, depending on what city, we have seen that number as low as X days. This format here, when you're looking at it, all the articles you're reading, the Bay East Association Realtors, the information you're getting from your association, wherever that's coming from, you then start filling this out. Will this market sustain? As we grow in this market and the market shifts with interest rates, with the new CalHFA program, with that program going to run out in a very short amount of time, like, will this market sustain? When people say, is there going to be a crash? Well, let me share with you, Mr. Consumer, why I believe that that is not to be true. And here's some data that supports that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys some homework. I'm going to give this to you guys right now. That way you guys have it. I'm going to make a copy. Actually, I'm just going to share this with you guys, share with others, skip this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up so you guys can, anyone with the link, I'm going to copy this link. Here's the homework for you guys. I want you to get with somebody. I don't care who it is. Get with a homie on the team. Get with somebody on the team or not on the team and practice this. When we come back on Wednesday next week to have a market update conversation, I'm going to call on people and be like, all right, cool. Let's hear it, Carlos. Let's go through that questionnaire and share with me the reality of what you're actually seeing, days on the market, what's happening in this particular market. You guys pick the area. You pick the area. It's not on me. But say for Christy, hey, Mr. Consumer, I want to share with you the reality of what's actually happening in the Modesto area. You and your family have been searching for homes that are in the price range of 400 to 550. I'm going to share with you what the inventory looks like, how long houses are sitting on the market, and what the list price, the sales price is. That way we can form the best strategy and make sure that you're writing offers that get accepted. Does that make sense, Mr. Buyer? Cool. Let me share with you what's going on. How does she do that? She follows that sequence, follows that cadence. That way, when you're talking to a consumer about the market, it is not just opinion. It is not just opinion. I found this. I literally put that in Slack 2.5 years ago. And I was like, wait a minute, let's go back. Let's go. I knew that and I adjusted it because some of it was pandemic related. But you guys, all the articles you're seeing in Slack, the things that you're reading, the videos, the stuff that you know about the market right now, the fact that this program's going away, interest rates coming down, interest rates going up. Will this market sustain? Can you truly, truly articulate what is actually going on? So the homework for this week until next week is get together with somebody, practice these questions, and make sure that you guys can flow. That is where we're going to pause. So I want to go to a couple people, see some of your key takeaways from our time together today. Rahil, I'm going to go to you. Wanda, I'll go to you next. And then I'm going to go over to Antonio, or no, actually Omar Gallegos. So Rahil, hit us with it. Key takeaways from our time together today.
Hello. Sorry for the background noise, but a key takeaway from today was definitely get more into consistency and expand your client experience through attention to detail.
Ooh, I love this. I love this. Heighten your consumer experience, because what we're doing is we're creating consumers for life, not just a transaction. So really good stuff. I love that. Wanda, let's go to you. Rapid fire, Wanda. Key takeaways from our time together today. Wanda going once, Wanda going twice. There we are.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hello?
Briefly, give us your takeaway from today.
Today, I actually, it was confirmed for me that what I do is a solid practice. I've been using the cloud CMA for years, and I thought it was ancient because I'm a veteran realtor. So I thought that maybe my practice was, maybe not the best route, but that's exactly what I do when I meet a new buyer. And basically I have my resume and everything in my cloud CMA profile. And so I have stuff about the company. They get everything before I ever take them out.
Good stuff.
And definitely I'm one of those agents. It depends on who it is. Just being, in real estate 22 years has given me a discernment for who to take out and who not to take out. But I have taken buyers out on the first time. And sometimes I can just read them whether or not to do that. It really just depends. But I have, just a short story to share.
Wanda, I don't think we have time for a short story.
For a
This is
short,
just
okay.
key takeaways. Let's save that for the next round, because I want to make sure to
The
respect
cloud
everybody's time.
CMA, cloud
CMA was your
CMA was
biggest takeaway.
definitely a confirmation for me to keep doing what I'm doing.
I love it. I love it. And I'm going to go to Omar Gallegos. Omar, go ahead and wrap us up. Key takeaways, and I'm going to have you take us off the field on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday morning. Go ahead, big dog.
Yeah, so good morning, everyone. Shout out to Vanessa. It was really nice hearing her cadence on that. And I definitely picked up on the Google Express, Excel sheet, the Excel sheet, because I've been printing out all the MLS reports for our clients, but I guess it's nice just having it all in one place. That way we know what properties we're going to hit, and then the specs about the property, so we're not kind of fumbling all over the place. And it does elevate the showing experience a little bit more, just having it all put together. So I'm going to start implementing that.
I love it. I love it. You guys, I appreciate your time. I know we're 2 minutes over. On Friday, I want you guys to take us through your highest level open house strategies. I want you to pull up your list reports, what you're doing, how you're prepping for that, your off-market folder, whatever you're doing to have the dopest open house. I want you guys to share your best practices here on group coaching. We're obviously going to talk about action, but if you tell me you took action, I want to know the cadence, the rhythm, the script, what you did, and I want to go layers and layers deeper. So you guys, we're going to do more of these sessions where we're going to dive deeper in. I heard you guys the other day. I respect you guys. I want to make sure that you guys are getting the best time together, that this is not a presentation, that this is actual coaching, and we're getting better and we're growing together. So I want to thank our guests for being here today. Thank all of you guys. And as always, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Peace.